Hello there, and welcome back. Before we begin, I wanted to give a huge thank you to all of my patron members. If you too wish to become a patron member and have your name read off in the stream, you must financially compensate the Patreon. But a big thank you to Fortune, Hermes, the Octahat, Kara, Evelyn Puppy, Steph Yugi, Dzib, Carbon, Rosebud, Shadow Caliber 01, Jonah Porter, Nunberg, Fish Salad, Antari Akiyama, Sarha Smith, William Hale, Vel Kirteno, the fan of a truly iconic Foxo, Galahad, Salgor Agaris, Marisa Kersidasome, Benefer the Potato, Genetic Zero, William Coles, Z2 Mackin, Songbird, Kyra, Void Dweller, T305, Iceland Rose, Vibe, Morning Owlet, Elster's Shiny Things, Kamek, also known as Luna, Tarsis, Ramona D, Jessica, Amy Olgers, Bias Meerkat 1652, Tiny Portal, Chloe, Beer the Space Witch, Ellipses, CM Fireflies, Some Guy, Gust 48, Joanna, Indigo, Kai, Sky, Danny Babani, Banana Busboat, TGSTGA, Beatrice Violet, Liliana Sokrovia, Chalky Rain, Breedable Vaporeon, Eden, Mick Shepherd, Artemis Lake, Captain Aardvark 986, Zentrika, Lily Adams, Hazel, Archibald, Bluegoo, Alice, Golic 92, Nova the Artist, Prophecy Fulfilled, DFA Plays, Robot Waifu, and Bloodmoth. Thank you. Thank you so very much for all of your support. It truly means the universe to me. The stream will begin in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Thank you so very much for all of your patience, and again, welcome back. Welcome back, dears. Hello. Welcome back. It is really good to see you again. Hello. Hello, Genetic Zero. Sympathy Boop. Boop. Hello, Lost in Wonderland. Hi. It's all good. Thank you so very much for saying hello. Hazel, Master Cobalt Cat, a good afternoon to you as well. Hello, Yellow. It is so very good to see you again. This past week has been simultaneously eventful and quite uneventful. Such is the way of things. Oh, goodness me, please don't tell me that my stream is already buckling. Yep, we've dropped about 1% of our frames. We lost 119 frames. That is slightly distressing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream for the full 4 hours. But we're going to try. We are going to try. Anyways, a very good afternoon to you. I hope that you are doing well, and I do hope that you have a nice treat nearby to enjoy. And I do hope that you have some water too. I hope you're hydrating. Seriously. I'm not kidding about the hydrating part. I have some tea right here, and I think that we're going to make it a rather chill stream this time around. Generally just talk a little bit, and maybe even air our grievances about the state of the world. As of right this second. So prices are currently up, from what I have seen. I could be very much mistaken. But it seems to me that things are a little bit more expensive these days than they used to be. Like food, for example. Normally I would have, like, a nice little treat on the way in order to, you know, help sustain myself for the entirety of the stream, but I can't do that this time around. I can't because it's too expensive. Why must food be too expensive? I'm sad. Because things are so expensive. And if they're this expensive for me, it's expensive for other people too. And that sucks. Hazel says I usually just eat my radiator. I don't have a radiator. I currently got this nice fan, though. Valkyr says, yeah, not being able to get special treats is a little saddening. Hazel says, jokes aside, I sadly have no way of knowing how expensive it is, UK, but I hope y'all are okay. I'm sorry, Hazel. Things here in the United States aren't that well. I hate to say it, but I live in a dictatorship. I live in the Empire of all places. It's really fucking crazy to live in the Empire. Seriously, if you're abroad right now, don't come to the United States. It's not safe for you here. Seriously. If you want, like, safer vacation destinations, go to Canada. Go to Mexico. There are so many beautiful places in this world, and you shouldn't risk your hide trying to visit the United States. As a matter of fact, one of my long-term goals is to get out of the country entirely. I don't want to be an American YouTuber anymore. I would much rather be anywhere else. Except for Russia. I don't want to go to Russia. I don't know Russian. And besides, I think that it's slightly worse. Slightly, being doing a lot of heavy lifting. I think that it is slightly worse than the United States. That and I hate Putin's guts. Valkyria says, have friends in Canada and I'm still worried for them. Anywhere specific in mind? Well, I mean, I primarily want to go where I am most welcome and where I'm able to continue doing this job. Because if I have to flee and just leave behind my life and leave behind streaming and leave behind seeing you guys on a daily basis and making my content and animating, if I had to just drop everything in order for base survival, I don't want to live that life. I want to be able to continue doing what I love. And thank you so very much, Genetic Sarah, for the $25 donation. It really means the universe to me. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Valkyr says, unfortunately, the UK isn't any better. Already had cis women being harassed for going to the toilet. Yeah, that's the thing about anti-trans legislation. Especially when it's, like, so heavily publicized like this. It basically not only puts trans people in danger, because people who clock us are more likely to harass and attack us, but also it affects cis people too. It affects cis women who don't necessarily fit into the quote-unquote conventional beauty standards, which are so superfluous. They are so nebulous and so easily shifted that you can convince a bunch of transphobes that J.K. Rowling and Sigourney Weaver are trans. One is a TERF, and the other is cisgender and badass. Peanut says, Canada just elected a liberal official, though, so now the United States is sandwiched between two liberal powers, Canada and Mexico. That is good. That is very, very good. I'm glad to see that Canada has a better handle on things than we do. I really tried. I really, really tried to help. I really do wish that I could have voted. But I was, like, had to go back and forth just to get my identification. And by the time I did get my identification, the voting was over. I really, really wanted to have at least some measure of... What's the word I'm looking for here? I wanted to have a little bit more sway. I wanted to help. And in a lot of ways, I'm doing what I can. But it really, really feels like I was too late. Hello, Nathan Hunt. Please pull up a chair. Get yourself something nice to eat. And please, get yourself something hydrating to drink. Lost in Wonderland? Impact? Piano Master says contribution? Both of those are good words. Both of those definitely fit for what I wanted to do. Hazel says, I've been enjoying Glass Beach recently, and their song motions is really good, but also relatable. Example, I want to blend into the background, and some parts of it sound like someone hearing a transphobe, and some parts sound like it's them talking against it. But, like me, being me doesn't deserve to go in the paper. Just let me be, I swear to God. And again, I think I made mention of this sometime before, but we legitimately have a criminal in office. He is a criminal, a felon, and a traitor who betrayed our country. And somehow us being quote-unquote reasonable citizens are just allowing that? Precisely, Peanut Master. An actual felon. It makes no sense. How was he allowed to run in the first place? It speaks to the level of corruption that the United States suffers from. And you could trace most of it, if not all of it, back to the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing organization that basically backs a bunch of the most extreme right-wing politicians that they can muster. It's at this point that I need to make a mention of lobbying. Lobbying is just government corruption under a different name, where politicians are bribed by companies. So yeah, one of the effects of lobbying is climate change gets worse another year. Peanut Mister says, "You say logic. You can't own a gun or vote if you're a felon, but apparently you can be the president." Oh yeah, no, duh. But then again, what has Trump already done that isn't illegal? If he does run for a third term, and they actually allow him to run, I will have no more respect for the electoral process of this country. I will just have no more respect for it. Because at that point, what are we doing? We are allowing a dictator to walk all over us. At this point, you might as well just try to do everything in your power to fix the system. Anything. Please, turn it off and turn it back on again. I once heard an article. About, I think it was either Denmark or Finland, jokingly buying California or something. Or buying the United States. And one of the first things, my first gut instinct was, please! Please! Yeah, please. I legitimately can't stand this shit anymore. I legitimately cannot stand it. Last month I paid my taxes. I did my due diligence. But considering how things have gone, who is actually, like, dipping into the taxes that I pay? And no, I'm not talking about, like, oh, some person that I don't, like, know. Like someone who isn't even in government, like on the other side of the country or some crap. I would actually like to see my taxes go to people who, like, deserve it. People who are down on their luck and need it. But we have people like Elon Musk. We have people like Elon Musk and Trump who are trying to gain control of every facet of it. So what are my taxes actually being used for, except for, like, filling the coffers of the already wealthy? I'm so done with capitalism, and I'm done with, like, the corruption of the United States, and I'm just done with all of the right-wing shit I see on the news. Hello, Aether. Hey, Time Marshal. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. At the end of the day, I just want to be able to live. To be able to do the work that I do, and live my day-to-day life, not having to worry about, oh, if next month I'll be able to both afford rent and get food. Because it's only going to get worse. We know it is. He's already deliberately crashed the economy. At this point, we are on a downward spiral, and it's just going to get worse. I'm doing my best to keep hope, and there is a lot to be hopeful for. Reality of the matter is that for the electoral systems. I don't have that faith anymore. Seriously, before the election results came in, I was absolutely certain that Kamala Harris would win. That's how, like, bloody cloistered I'd been. That's how, like, in my echo chamber I was. That was how mistaken I was. Because I had faith that we were smarter than this. Seriously, it was that one Star Wars meme. That one prequel meme. Hold on, how did this happen? We're smarter than this. Okay, Lost in Wonderland says, last time I checked it was something like 25% of people who still want him to have a third term. Quite frankly, it being that high is still a bit concerning. There are diehard Trumpers who have admitted, that it doesn't matter what information comes their way. They will never change their minds. The MAGA far-right crowd will never change their minds. And they are a disconcertingly high percentage of the population. Precisely, Peanut Master. Oh yes, precisely, Peanut Master. Friesa says, me in Sweden. Girl, I wish you luck. Thank you. I think it's gonna take a little bit more than luck in order to help us scrape out of this mess. At this point, as an individual myself, I'm just trying to survive my day-to-day. I don't want to run for any political office. I don't want to get involved with politics at all. I hate that I have to talk about it. I hate that I have to talk about the economy. The economy is something I know jack of squat about. And yet I know that what he's done is stupid. It is stupidity. The highest order of stupidity. And we are just allowing it to happen, and I just have to sit back and watch like, well, I have to sit back and say to myself, I could do a better job than that, and I'm not even interested in the job. I once thought about whether or not I'd like to run for governor. Maybe I would. Just to, like, do my best to help the community and the state out. To do what I can to safeguard LGBT rights, to make sure that Arizona stays afloat, because, I mean, I moved here. I want to make sure that the place is as nice as it was when I found it. Game Grimoire says, left wing and right wing only reminds me of the quote, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Yet we base democratic society off of separation and categorization of the whole. Lost in Wonderland says, $1.89 for gas. It hasn't been under $2.89 since I've been born. That's not an exaggeration. Hazel says, I remember when it was 59 pence for petrol. It is now £1.79. Genetics here, I live in California. Hey, that's my birth state. Can't remember the last time it was below $3, and I am old. It's per liter, by the way, says Hazel. I don't know. It could be Lincoln. Let me fact check that really, really quickly. Huh. Apparently, it's from the Bible. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. I think that's Matthew 12:25. It's very, very interesting. I'm not religious, and I don't like Christianity. Di Marshall says, Cutiefox, remember, we're here for you. Thank you so very much. I really, really do appreciate it. Cutiefox for president. Thank you for the $10 donation. I would make a really crappy president. I'm confident of my chances of being a better president than Donald Trump. I can be a better president than him. However, I think that I would just barely scrape by. I think that otherwise I would not be the best pick. I am insanely left-wing. I have hardly any good ideas as to how to implement policy correctly. Seriously, I would have to reorient my entire life to the study of politics. To abandon my animation and my channel, and to just devote my time to studying how to make my ideas work. And even if I did that, I would still barely eke it out. I would still barely be a better president than Trump. Valkyr says, remember, Nico, people who don't desire power often are better leaders for the people. Here's the thing. I don't have interest in politics, but I do have a desire for power. It is the illusion of power, but I cannot help myself from desiring it. After all, what person in their right mind wouldn't want to have the power to save their loved ones if they were in danger? To prevent injury, to prevent illness or disease. That sort of power. Genetic Sarah says, I think you'd be good at mobilizing the masses. We just need a suitable candidate. In that regard, I think the position of a general might actually suit me better. I think that someone, or like a poster child or whatnot, a poster child for whatever resistance comes about. I think that I would like to be the poster child. That's the best I can do. Because, again, I don't have good policy. I'm not that good at strategy. The best I can do is my best. Alan the Great says, in Sweden, we have a semi-right-wing leadership, and I'm kind of scared, but at the same time, I'm getting laser hair removal, so I'm focusing on the positive stuff in my own life. Congratulations, Alma. Congratulations. Well done. That is really good news. Sam Firefly says, I would pledge allegiance to Cutiefox for leader of the world? What, just going to do a Doctor Who and make me president of all the world's countries? No. I mean, that would be problematic on so many levels, because I'm a pasty white trans girl. I am dumb. I am dumb as rocks. I have floof for brains. I am... if I say that I'm not good as a general or a governor, and certainly not the president of one country, I don't want to be president of the world. No way. No. Oh, that'd be too much pressure. Lost in Wonderland says, I need you to know I'm clipping that. Clipping what exactly? Clipping what part of what I said? Valkyrie says, when I say power, I more meant power to exploit or self-enrich to the detriment of others. That's not power. It's a lack of empathy. It is a lack of respect for your fellow human being, and it is also a willingness to cruelty. If you have a willingness to cruelty, you could do pretty much anything to your fellow person and just not give a damn about it. I can't do that. At the end of the day, I constantly second-guess myself, wondering if I did the right thing. Heck, I wonder all the time if I just, like, unnecessarily made people worry about me. I fell down once after, like, a dojo class. Like, I lost all balance and just fell flat on my rump, and even though I landed gently and I was alright afterwards, and I made sure that people understood that I was alright, I still worried that I was too much of a distraction. Seriously, I can't. I can't. Sure, I can exploit, you know, loopholes in the system. I can exploit certain vulnerabilities against rich right-wing fucks, but they've got the cash, and honest to goodness, we need that more than they ever do. They've got so much wealth that they will never be able to spend every last dime. As if they would ever have any inclination to. They're like dragons. They hoard their gold. They will not spend it. They will not be able to spend it. So yeah, against them, could definitely exploit. But against my common layperson? No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I am dumb, I am dumb, I have flew for brains. Ah, I get it. It's the truth. I am stupid. That's not me trying to put myself down. It's just a fact. I'm not cut out for, like, those higher positions. I'm good where I'm at. And where I'm at is entertaining. Entertaining and more, boosting morale. Genetic Sarah says, don't sell yourself short. What makes you different is that you're willing to learn. Dumb people never learn. Alma says, dragons are somehow more compassionate than the 1%. It does depend on the sort of dragon that we're dealing with. If we're dealing with the metallic dragons, we're dealing with dragons that are, at their core, moderately kind, or at least neutral. If we're dealing with the chromatic dragons, we're dealing with evil dragons. Grimoire says, smart people learn and study from others. Moderate people will ask if they don't know, and dumb people already have all the answers. Spyro says, I need a bit of comfort. Character I love in a fic I am deeply invested in got killed off. I'm devastated. I'm so terribly sorry. I'm sorry, Spyro. It really sucks when that happens. Lost in Wonderland says, I don't know if it was just me, but the line I always heard was, you can fix dumb, you can't fix stupid, because they're willing to learn. Spyro says, thanks. You're welcome. I am willing to learn. It doesn't mean I'm the best person for the job. Y'all aren't serious about it, right? Like, you're not serious about me running for that political position, right? It is just a joke, right? Also Wonderland. Smiley. Grim says, never said we weren't. Hmm. Valkyrie says, semi-serious, very much believe in your ideas. Time Marshall says, in Cutiefox we trust. A wormfic. A wormfic? Path of Blood and Bugs on AO3. I'll have to check that out, I think. I think that we have a trans senator now. That's cool. Ah yes, the trans senator from Delaware, Sarah McBride. Hold the phone. Did she resign or something? Oh no. I think she's still in office. I think? Elma says, I voted for a trans girl to represent my city in Sweden, like, Common? Huh. Genetic Sarah says, yes, she's still serving in the House. Woohoo! In the Wikipedia page, it's very fascinating. If you go to Wikipedia, and you go down to the tab that says United States House of Representatives and scroll just a little bit down, you can go to the misgendering controversies. That's fun! And there's actually, like, a quote here. There's a quote from the section on March 11th, 2025, which is, like, 2 months ago. To quote Wikipedia, on March 11th, 2025, in a hearing of the Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Europe, Chair Keith Self introduced McBride as the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride. McBride replied by thanking Self as Madam Chair. Ranking Member Bill Keating interrupted and responded to Self, Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? Self repeated Mr. McBride and attempted to continue the hearing, but Keating stated, you will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way. Keating's absence would deny the hearing a quorum, so Self adjourned the hearing. During the exchange, Self said, we have set the standard on the House floor, referring to the February incident. Oh. Yeah. Because people are assholes. She resigned from the State Senate of Delaware to take her seat in the House. Sometimes people piss me off. I wouldn't be able to deal with the misgendering stuff with as much eloquence as Miss McBride. because Miss McBride has more class. She's got class and she's got dignity, and if someone misgenders me, those are the two things that go out the window first and foremost. Someone misgenders me on the house floor, and I'll just walk over there and tech them in the face. I do not have that sort of, compunction. Game Grimoire says costs you $1 to give decency. Precisely. It costs you nothing. So don't be a dingus. Don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk, you hear? Oh, taking on a different accent. Yeah, don't be a jerk, you hear? Don't be it. Valkyrie says, very fiery fox. What is that accent I just did? That was definitely an interesting accent. I don't know what that was. Was that a Brooklyn accent? Nathan says, sounded like it. Very soon I'll become a very high-pitched, scout voice impersonator. Alma says hybrid accent. I broke your stupid crap, moron. Repeat after me. I'm dead. Real nice effort, Deutschbag. Yep, that's Scout. Team Fortress 2 Scout impressions. Good night, Valkyr. Sleep well. Spyro says, I knew it. And Alma says, bonk, bonk. That Domo's a sentry. Ah! Lost in Wonderland says, Nico, please, I'm trying not to laugh. Like, I genuinely can't right now. I used to play Team Fortress 2 a lot. I played too much Spy. I used to play too much of that Frenchman. Au revoir, ma petite chauffeur. Ah! Spyro made Pyro. So if we were playing on opposite teams, we would be mortal enemies. Well done, Spyro. Nathan says I was medic. I wanted to be a medic main. But I had very poor game sense. Also, Wonderland says, I remember when I tricked someone into thinking that Carla could call you her little cauliflower. Alma says I made Demo Man because funny. It's funny. Prance and a boot with your head full of eyeballs. Come and get me, I say. I'll be waiting for you with the old brimstone. I'm a grim, bloody fable with an unhappy, bloody end. Oh, they're going to have to glue you back together in hell. Yeah, precisely, Spyro. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is funny. Oh, I'm feeling all giggly. Bubbly. Oh, drinking tea. Tea's really, really good. I love tea, especially if it's like a throat coat. Throat coat is silver standard for voice actors and actresses. I might have said this already. Ugh, oui. Bump, 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 shtap, ba bump, bump, bump. Nathan says, one of the most wholesome things I learned about Team Fortress 2 is the voice actor for Sniper and GLaDOS are married. Yeah. Ellen McLean, who also voices the administrator. As far as we knew, a script where the announcer shows Miss Pauling how to handle the console or something. I can't do that. I wish I could. I'm not that talented. I am not that talented. Hop, hop, hop. Yep, and Wheatley's still in space. Space! You have to. You have to do it. Space Corps is orbiting Wheatley because Wheatley's so fluffing dense. He is a dense mother fluffer. Also Wonderland, and say it with me, kids, she calls her character the skinny old bitch. Sparrow says, a GLaDOS voice changer and talking to Shell for an ASMR would be a canonical mute. I don't know how to write GLaDOS. I wish I did. I am not that funny. I'm not that funny. I would just write roasts that didn't land. Or is she? I don't know. One of the things I don't like is the fact that I get really, really sleepy in the afternoons, and then I just go, oh, I'm so sleepy. I just want to take a nap. Sleepy. Sparrow says, so that's like 70% of what GLaDOS does. Yeah, precisely. But she can think of really, really unique things to try to get under Shell's skin. And they're hilarious. I'm not that funny. I'm not that funny. I could think of stuff that could be funny. I'm just not that funny. Speaking of voice acting, do you have any actors who you like or aspire to be like? Ones that I really, really like are like ProZD and Gianni Matrigano, I think. Yeah, I think that's how you say Gianni's name. Those two are really, really flipping good at what they do. And then there's also Voice Quills, who does a lot of good stuff. I really love them too. Other voice actors that I like and like to be like Ellen McLean, we already have her. She's already on the list. The voice actresses for Final Fantasy XII, all of them, are wonderful. Lucas Arnold? Oh, there's also Luke Correa, although Luke Correa went missing for some time. I think he's in college. Also Wonderland. Oh. Oh, yeah. I love it when you call me señorita. Alma says they start laughing when other people laugh. I don't know if anyone here is the same. I used to do that a lot. And if a laugh really catches me off guard, I go into full belly laughs or giggles too. Like when I first watched the Helsing Ultimate Abridged series, and whenever Alucard starts laughing, I just can't help but laugh along because it's really, really fun. Beautiful, aren't they? Oh, I'm sure you do. And if you know where those two lines came from, you have similar interests to me. Lost in Wonderland says, he just says stupid lines in a ton of different voices, it's great. Another voice actor / author that I really like is Harlan Ellison. Yes, that Harlan Ellison. Aren't I swell? I know it's rich coming from me, but your powers are bullshit. I know I'm really, really fluffing loud. It's peaking the microphones too much. I do apologize. Also, Wonderland says, I was doing something for the GSA at my school. One of my favorite facts to share, the VA of God and Pokemon is a drag queen. Oh, I can top that. The voice actor for Meowth in the original run of Pokemon is a trans woman. That was a 70-inch plasma screen TV. So, how can I help you? Nathan says, I quite like Gianni as well as Stephen Waite, John St. John, and Keith David. Oh, Keith David is so good. Fan of FPS games, if you couldn't tell. I enjoy Keith David in a lot of stuff. He's really, really good in The Thing. He's really, really great. Hey, James. You burned my house to the ground. I don't remember where that line's from. Nice. Boing, 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 boing. Alma says, machine, I'm hitting the Soulja Boy swag. Ah, Winter. Kaboom. Kable. Alma says Ultra Kills rotted my brain so much, oh my god. Machine, I have taken a selfie with the funny rock. Thank you so very much, Genetic Zero, and stay safe. Rest well. Thank you for stopping by. Bling, 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 bling. Vip, bling, 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 bling. So yeah, also, just as a heads up, I'm also working on another animation project. What did you think of the last video that I put up? The burning out video that I put on the channel. What did you think of that, if you've seen it? Did you like it? I know that it's a little bit different to my typical content. In a lot of ways, it actually features some of the animation skills that I've picked up, while still keeping to some of the voice acting roots that I have. Also, I really hope that I didn't scare you too much with the title of the video. I know that that was, like, not the best title I could have given it, but it was the only one I could think of at the time. I'm sorry to scare you. But yeah, I'm working on another animation in a similar vein to that video. So there will be more. There will be more in the future. And I plan on making a bunch more short form content videos like it. Stuff that is only like a single page long in terms of script, but features more animation to it. You know, it's a bit of a trade-off. With my ASMR work, you get a lot more voice acting, but the animation doesn't... It's a looping animation. That's what it's good for. For this other stuff, it's going to be a little bit more involved. If you know, you know. Soup. Gotta keep my sustenance up, otherwise I'm going to start falling asleep during this stream. I have that habit of falling asleep in the afternoon. I believe I've said that, but it is a very strong compulsion to fall asleep in the afternoon. Also, Wonderland says, I may not be a star, but I'm still burning out. Loved it for Seiyou in a while YouTube bothered to tell me about. I got inspired by Nick Baldi's videos of the Veiled Seraph. I really enjoy the Veiled Seraph as a concept. However, and this is a big however, I don't like his reliance on the use of AI. I don't like his reliance on it. I don't think it's that good. I think that it's not the best. I want to provide something similar, you know, but with my own spin on it. To actually put in the effort of animating my own content, as well as writing my own scripts. I think that I still fairly decently nail the dark fantasy tones, even if it does come across as slightly analog horror. I'm trying to aim for not a analog horror, but an analog dark fantasy. It's like a dark fantasy set in a video game that has sat abandoned in like this one box, in this one cardboard box since the 90s. The entire thing, the entirety of that video, I designed it to try to get it as close to a 90s recording as possible. I don't have a lot of the tools at my disposal in order to do that, but I think that I still did really, really well in terms of making it look old. But yeah, it's like a video game that you found in a cardboard box that must have been sitting there since the 90s, and the watcher just like plugs it into their system and decides to mess about inside the game world, and then finds this fox that tells them a bunch of ethereal secrets about the universe and about themselves specifically. And the fox is never meant to symbolize a dangerous entity, not in the traditional sense. The fox basically is what I most want to be at the end of the day, is to be this being that you come across that gives you a couple minutes of peace, and then you both move on with your lives. Unlike the Veiled Seraph's purported actions, it's not about revelation in so much of that regard. It is purely about the vibes. It's about the comfort. It's about telling you what you already know in a slightly different way. And you might not know you already know it. In the Burning Out video, believe it or not, I was actually feeling a little bit burnt out when I made that animation. I had been spending days, just days on end, working on the fox model, rigging it, making the scene, making the textures, and by the end of that, I was exhausted. I was exhausted, and I just wanted the project to be over with. And then I recorded the lines for it, edited the audio, put it all together, and then posted it. And I really like it. I really like the project. I like how well it's doing, and I like the response that it's gotten. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of it. I'm going to do my best to be a comforting, semi-eldritch fox that is in this game cartridge that you found. Who knows? Maybe if I am talented enough and determined enough to do so, perhaps this could become a game that is featured on my Patreon at some point in the future. I'm not going to make any promises that I can't keep. What I want to do is eventually make this into a low-poly video game. in which you and this fox companion that just pops in and out of reality just goes on a walk. There might or might not be enemies out there, but I don't want the enemies to be, like, the main focal point of that, if that makes any sense. It's just a conversation. Tunic point of view? Yeah, I guess it is kind of like Tunic. But instead of, like, it being Tunic, it feels a little bit more horror-esque. It's darker. It's more dark fantasy. I don't want it to turn into analog horror. I want it to be a semblance of dark fantasy. I really hope that I succeed in that. I want it to be a little unsettling, but comforting. Thank you so very much, Alma. Rest well. I hope I didn't already say that. I sometimes forget if I've read lines or if I'm rereading them. One of the worst things that I think of is sometimes I think that I have read a comment twice. Believe it or not, I've never actually played Tunic. Maybe I should. Maybe I should play a bunch more video games. Lost in Wonderland. Alice Madness Returns, then. Final answer. Love that game, but fluff American McGee. Why fluff American McGee? What did he do? Seriously, what did he do? Oh dear, oh dear. Spire says, having seen some of the process of making that video, I'm in awe of your talent. I rage quit 3D animating and all that and started coding. Fluff it. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I might have. I'm gonna tell it again if I have. I started learning animation in college, during 2020. It was 2019 leading into 2020, and I studied it until I left college around 2021. After I had basically stopped going to my 3D lessons in 2022, I rolled around the idea of making an ASMR channel around February. And by the end of February, I was ready to put my voice out there, as it were. I shared a vocal sample with a friend of mine, and then I posted the full audio. This was way before I even had access to thumbnails. Gosh, I feel nostalgic just thinking about it. But before all of that, I learned how to animate, because I wanted to animate for video games and stuff. And getting into animation in this regard definitely gives me a lot of respect for people who do this shit for a living, because holy cow, it's tough. It can be really tough. Spire says, having seen so... Oh, right. I've already read that. Lost in Wonderland says, went on a giant rant about how pan people don't exist, along with generally implying that LGBT is a phase and that he's in his inclusivity thing for the money. That was me face palming. In case that picked up on the mic, I face palmed. How to blow it in one easy step. Well, I don't think I'm gonna be finishing Alice Madness Returns anytime soon. Generally speaking, I don't interact much with media from people I don't like or respect. For example, ever since J.K. Rowling just sort of came out as being a TERF, ever since she decided to be a total jerk, I decided that I was just not going to have anything to do with her works. Because why would I? I value my mental health a lot more than I let on. And so I'm not gonna put myself through that. I'm not going to partake in Harry Potter content. And when Neil Gaiman turned out to be a monster too, I slowly unwound myself from a couple of things that he's associated with. There are two that I hold on to because they are rather close to my heart. However, I don't listen to his narration of Coraline on audiobook, and I'm not interested in any of his other works that I have not yet gone into. Unfortunately, I really, really like Good Omens, and I really, really like Coraline, so those will be some things that I still interact with. However, Neil Gaiman is a monster. Lost in Wonderland says, also, recent Plushy Dreadful emails have been weirdly holistic and concerning. Also, I've already got the game, so I'm finishing it. Life Madness Returns, I just hate him. Nihilistic. Ah. Nihilism is a very fascinating thing to me. I'm gonna have to brush up. What is nihilism, actually? According to the Oxford Dictionary, the rejection of all religious and moral principles and the belief that life is meaningless. Oh. Well, I guess I'm not nihilistic. Even though I do believe inherently life does not have any meaning to it, other than what you give it yourself. And you have to give your own life meaning. I think that's the only way that it should be, is if you figure out what it is that your life means to you. For me, I had to really sit down with myself and think what it is that my life means in the grand scheme of things, because I was born with a purpose in mind. And that might sound comforting on first glance. Oh, I was born with a purpose in mind. It is a form of horror. It's something I find horrifying. I don't subscribe to the belief that human beings are born with a purpose. And if they are, then they were horribly, horribly mistreated. I do reject religious principles, but mainly because they are contradictory and they sometimes make no sense in terms of reality. However, religion, in my view, is divorced from morality. You can be moral without religion, and in most cases, I believe that you have to put aside your religion to be moral in a lot of instances. Because if you were to read the Bible back to front, you will see a bunch of things in it that are contradictory, as well as a lot of rules, especially in Leviticus, that you're supposed to, like, obey, which include not tattooing yourself or, you know, wearing a shirt of mixed cotton polyester fabrics. And I also say that you should not suffer a witch to live. And I'm not about that murder stuff. I'm not about that putting heretics to death stuff. And I don't believe in eternal torture. Hell is pointless and stupid as an idea. Sometimes I might reference hell, but that's because it's been so burned into the culture, for, forgive the pun, that I can't help but draw reference to it. Spar says life does not have an externally assigned meaning. That is what I believe. I believe that the meaning of your life is whatever you define it to be, and only you are allowed to define it. I was born essentially to be my blood mother's muscle, her cheerleader, and ultimately a forgotten project that just sort of sat in a drawer waiting to be finished until I grew up and decided to leave. She used to often credit herself as being the only parent to quote-unquote parent us. And I think that's a bit of a misnomer. She helped us survive until adulthood. That is what she did, and I will give her full credit there. However, I don't think she did a good job of raising us. I think that she was rather piss poor at it. And considering a lot of the stuff that she has done to screw with my mental and physical health, yeah, no. No. Lost in Wonderland says, the Bible isn't a problem to me. It gives generally good things, and I'm convinced no modern people doing horrible things for Christian values have never read it. I'm not going to argue that it might have good ideas sometimes, but also it perpetrated the idea that slavery is good. And in the Bible, it also gives methods by which how to trick your Hebrew slaves into staying with you forever. So, the Bible is problematic to me. It has problems that I can't surmount, and stuff I find unconscionable. Also, Noah's flood. Just like, I don't like a god that will just try to kill everything on the planet, except for like 8 people on a boat as well as a bunch of animals. Like, I don't like that. The god of the Bible is just a genocidal maniac. And I don't want to get into heaven if it's on the whims of a genocidal maniac. I agree, Spyro. Blood of the Covenant is stronger than the waters of the womb. Welcome back, Aether. Mostly just stuff about life, the meaning of life, and my general take on it, which is the meaning of life is whatever you give it. It is what you have decided the meaning of your life is. Sparrow says, I find organized religions distasteful and unnecessary. Yeah. And considering that organized religion has effectively parasitized our current political systems, I have a somewhat negative view of religion in general. Tools for the weak, beacons for the deluded, as the grave mind would say. What was that quote about what religion is to different classes of people? Golly, I'm trying to find that quote and it's escaping me. Lost in Wonderland says, yeah, I get that there's a lot of problems with it. There's just a lot that people do claiming to be Christian that's the exact dang opposite of what it says to do. I'm not religious, this is a peeve. Yeah, I get where you're coming from there. Yeah. Spyro says, me too, but I ain't airing out my stronger opinions in public. Ah, attributed to Seneca, I believe, though I could be mistaken. The quote goes, religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by the rulers as useful. I think that religion, like most everything else, is just a tool for governments to basically allow the rich to stomp on the poor. Just, instituting another form of classism. Just, an opinion of mine, and it could be very wrong. Sparrow says, I have heard these people referred to as hollow Christians. Yeah, that tracks. I'm not going to prop myself up as a being of, like, pure intellect and reason. That's just not... It's not something I can do. I am a human being, and I can succumb to many forms of bias, including emotional bias. Especially emotional bias. If you get me emotional, I will say things that I don't necessarily mean in the moment. Ah, good night, Spyro. It was good to see you again. And you're right, Spyro. Screw the corpo-fascists and politicos. Remember to have hope and never give in. Never give up. You inspire us, so please take this nugget of hope for yourself. Thank you so very much, Spyro. I really, really do mean... I really do appreciate it. Hope is a very interesting thing. It is an example of bias that I do have. I have a bias towards hope. A hope that tomorrow will be a better day than the last. A hope that the end of today will be better than the beginning. A hope that humanity proves itself to be kinder, wiser, and more forgiving than what political news would tell you. That for all of the bloodshed and the horrors of war, that there are still bright moments. The world really is a crazy place. It has always been a crazy place. All throughout human history and before that. It is absolutely batshit bonkers. And in a lot of ways, it is beautiful. One of the things that I really like to do in Missouri, and what I really, really miss about Missouri, was just being able to go outside and just sit down and look around. There's not like the sound of traffic in your ears as much as like it is now for me. My fluffy ears here are constantly bombarded with the sounds of traffic and city life. But when I was in the country, I could just look at the green. I could feel the wind on my skin and see the golden light filter through the leaves, and I could feel at peace. And sometimes those moments are enough. It's not all doom and gloom. It might feel that way. And in a lot of ways it is that way. But hope as a thing still does exist in some form, as an emotion, as a sensation, as an inclination, as an idea. I'm not a fool to believe that it is a physical force in the world. I don't believe that hope could be that. But hope can definitely uplift you. Hope can definitely drive you to seek help. It can drive you to reach out for a brighter future. It can help you to strive for that better future. There's a quote, I don't remember where it's from, so do forgive me for not sourcing it correctly. But it was a quote about an old man planting an acorn, planting a tree essentially, in whose shade he will never sit. Basically just starting a project for a better world, even if we do not live to see it. And I would like that to be me. I would like to be able to push forward and help make that better world, even if I can't indulge in it. I will be honest. I am an incredibly damaged person. I have done a lot of fixing of myself here and there. I've done a lot of good patch jobs here. And I like to think that I am somewhat decent these days. But I don't know. I don't know if it's enough. I don't know where I'm going with this. I guess I'm just rambling. If I am, I really do apologize. You deserve something that is far more coherent than this fluffy-headed fox rambling on about her own silly woes. If I may say something, it's this. Thank you. Thank you so much for being by my side through it all. Thank you for watching the stream, just sitting down and talking with me. It really does mean a lot to me because I do get lonesome. I do get lonesome occasionally. And I really appreciate bending your ear for a time to chatter and squeak and mutter and ramble. In the words of Simon and Garfunkel, that's all there is, and the leaves that are green turn to brown. Winter says, why wouldn't we show up to a wonderful Foxo's streams? You've got me there, Winter. I hope that, at the very least, I'm entertaining. I remember. There's like this trend going on with this audio that goes essentially, so remember parents, children are very fragile, especially in their first few years of development. They can and will remember everything. Oh, welcome, Wolfie. Welcome. Welcome back to the stream. Boing, 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 boing. Wolfie says I was able to appear for a bit since work let out early. Excellent! I hope you get some wonderful rest soon. Also, in other news, I have also been writing a lot. I think I almost have 2 scripts in the Ostafe series, the Dom Demoness series. So once I finish with the next script, I think I'll record those two, and hopefully I'll be able to post them to the channel relatively soon, or have them be early access on the Patreon. I look forward to it. Boing, 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 boing. Hey, Black Wolf. Wolfie says, ah, yes, it's Baldur's Gate 3 time. Also, yay, writing. My second favorite creative endeavor besides drawing. And, of course, my first favorite creative endeavor. Animation comes second to writing. Also, Wonderland says, she's got no power over me. You can't buy my soul. I'm Ginger. Have fun finding one. Can I have some context loss in Wonderland? I feel like I'm missing context. Old meme? Ah. Ah. Lost in Wonderland says, you not heard the joke of gingers not having souls? Oh, I did hear that joke. Believe it or not, I did hear that joke. I think I made that joke to my big sister last night. However, it's something that I primarily say in jest. Wolfie says, much like me, 'tis an ancient incantation. Nick Shepard says, never forget that old meme. Boing 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 boing. Hop, hop. Fox hop. Hop, 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 hop. Do you ever just have this thing that it happens where you just can't drink water? I mean, it's not like you can't drink it, like can't drink it. I mean, you can ingest it fine, but it just doesn't taste good. Do you ever just have that happen? Where just water tastes bad? Yes, I've had that happen. Also, Wonderland says Benui. I like Benui. Fops is Chase Benoist. Also, I'm trying to hop to, bring some energy back because I'm feeling really, really sleepy right now. I think that in about 20 minutes or so I might take a nap. Wolfie says, yes, I cannot have certain brands of water. Like Dasani. I know that Dasani water gets a bad rap. And to be fair, I prefer other brands of water to Dasani. Bling 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 bling. Boing 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 boing. Boing 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 boing. Wolfie says toxic to humans. Hey Blue, welcome back. Hop 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 hop. Boing 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 boing. Hop 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 hop. Boing. Ah, Cutiefox Akira. Ah, you're a no-name. I see. Wolfie says, I'm never getting that Coke sponsorship. Well, I'm never getting a sponsorship deal of any kind. Even if I could get a sponsorship deal, I don't think I'd take it. Because I don't want to be forced to write in a sponsorship segment for an ASMR video. It doesn't make any sense. I consider what I do an art form. I don't want to devolve into relying on brands. I don't want to succumb to capitalism. Dirty capitalism. Wolfie says, and I wouldn't want it. My soul isn't for sale. Precisely. I wouldn't sell my art in order to live. I wouldn't sacrifice the vision for a sponsor deal. I don't like that capitalism has reduced what is essentially an art form to that. If a lot of movies feel cheap because of the sponsorship deals, that's probably why. I mean, I remember this one time when Mountain Dew, like, sponsored something. I think it was, a game jam, I think? I think it was a Mountain Dew sponsored game jam. And Mountain Dew had to be plastered on everything, and it just was nauseating. Really put me off of drinking that stuff. Wolfie says today's ASMR is brought to you by Subway and Quip. You should probably get in the wrapper, since you want to be a sub so badly. Cutiefox says true. This ASMR brought to you by Del Taco. Mick Shepard says, I know I just kidnapped you, but would you like some Raycons? Wolfie says, yeah, that thing. Repugnant. That's a good word for it. Repugnant is a good word for it. Disturbing is another. It is incredibly disturbing to watch. Disgusting. To see that level of drivel being driven into a game jam. Wolfie Yandere force feeds you Jersey Mikes. Hey darling, snap into a Slim Jim. Yeah. The attack of the sponsorship deals. Nah, I would sooner, like, jump off a bridge than do that to an ASMR that I wrote. I would rather jump off a bridge than do that. I will not sacrifice my vision for, you know, money. There's a lot of things I'll do for money. I will moan on Patreon for money. However, I will not do that. I will not take a sponsorship. Cutiefox says, Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but my sponsor's Mint Mobile, so call me maybe. I'll see myself out. All the other girls try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Buy our Ridge wallet. Cutiefox here says, I have no shame. Well, I have like a slight concept of shame. But I really can just like deep inhale and go, like unironically. Am I moe enough for you? Why can't you take this seriously? Because that's what you want. And I'm not going to give it to you. Rows of teeth. Like a shark. Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is just a great series. You should watch it at some point. It's awesome sauce. Ah, tea. Tea is good. Wolfie says my soul isn't for sale. My souls, however, are a different story. Roman senators. It's this guy. I'm trying to remember. Who is he? He did something about Roman senators, like in YouTube Shorts. He did a bunch of skits, and one of them it starts out as like, "We are the most influential people in Rome. The citizens look to us for guidance." Evil laugh. And then it just devolves into what actually happens, the history of it rather than fiction. What is that guy's name? I want to source him. I want to source him appropriately. I hate this. I hate that I know who this guy is. I know his face. I know his face, but I can't remember the channel's name. Please. Please. We're walking and we're plotting. We're walking and we're plotting. And I hate that whatever I'm looking up right now is just giving me political stuff. I just want to talk about the Roman Empire. I guess I'm just gonna have to go onto the shorts page and then just scroll until I find this guy. Because he shows up fairly often, and I'll be able to find him easily if he shows up again. And, yeah. Oh, I found the bastard! There you are! Is Pat Menzie? Yeah, I'm just gonna copy his name into the chat so that you can look him up. He's got really amusing shorts. Just look him up. Look him up. He's great. Did it get the votes? Did it get the votes? He got the votes. Fuck! That's like one of the jokes that he does, and it's hilarious. The very first time I saw that short, I cackled like an insane person for several minutes. Lost in Wonderland says, I just want to talk about the Roman Empire. Literally the History Channel. I just want to teach people about the Golden Horde. Cutiefox Akira says, weird when the best part of a series is an ambiguously gay antagonist, like most of Disney villains. Also, the person that you're talking about, Lost in Wonderland, is actually Youth Pastor Ryan, who isn't an actual youth pastor, which is good, because I was concerned. If I were to write a sketch, like a short, in the style of one of Pat Menzies' videos, I would first like write it in the style of Shakespeare's Hamlet in 1 minute or so. And it would start off basically as like, well, gods, I really, really fucking miss my dad. I've seen your dad. Real shit. Oh, I've seen a ghost. Now it's time to act crazy. If we be crazy, we must act the part. Oh, my uncle decided to hire my friends in order to, like, betray me later on. Well, I'm going to subtly let them know that I'm onto them. Yeah, suck it, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Oh, so they're planning on shipping me off to get, like, imprisoned or beheaded by the monarchs of another country. Well, screw that. I'm gonna get kidnapped by pirates. You can go in my place. Wolfie says real? Anya? No fooling? Lost in Wonderland says, well, this shit's depressing. Is it really? Is it really? I'm sorry. Dear Foxy here says, yeah, the more obscure villains like Melissa and Wrath. Oh, the slash fix that came out of that kid series. Boing, 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 boing. Boing 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 boing. Boing 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 boing. Charles Darnell Hede Deme. Charles Darnay. Dude, what's that like spelling correctly? I wish I knew. I wish I knew. If I want things spelled correctly, I have to double check and triple check, honest. And even still, sometimes things slip through. Well, how about that? How fascinating. Hello, Trainmaster. Wolfie says, gonna blame my silly paws. Easy way out. Oh, don't blame your cute little paws. They're not entirely to blame. Everything's going to be just fine. It's wonderful to see you too, Trainmaster. It truly, truly is. Ah. Also, Wonderland says, I remember when I was trying to get the script for Serpent in the Garden. YouTube's captions put, that's a pretty garden, as, that's a pretty gay dance. Wolfie says, when the voice hit. Yes. I typically, I habitually go into the high-pitched, hello, this is my voice, I'm really hyper and energetic and bubbly and stuff like that, and then I get a little bit more relaxed and stuff, and I typically start sounding a lot more like this, even though I still try to pick up the pace and I bounce a lot. And then I purposely lower my voice into a growl. And I whisper and murmur in this slow, husky voice of mine. Now this is a very, very nice voice, isn't it? It's one that you could almost fall asleep to, isn't it? Hello, Antari Akiyama. Howdy. And how are you doing today? This chat is being so very obedient. Wolfie says low rumble. So good. Oh yes. I also like mixing in a little bit more of a proper accent. Just a little. Makes it sound a bit like Ostafe, the dominating demon. Hello, Amy Wires. Welcome to the stream. Or should I say welcome back? It is an honor to have you here. So, cuties, what have you been reading lately? Oh, poor dear. Time Marshall says, joke for you. What did the baby corn say to the mama corn? Where's popcorn? Antari says you infected me with HGG. Oh. Sorry, pet. Is someone going to be a good little floret soon? Alrighty, Demon Fox Akira. See you when you get home. Wolfie says I've spent the last month writing some Limbus fanfiction stuff. Actually, reading less. So, but still same vein. Lost says, not much. I've got to get back into reading The Art of Being Normal. But why would you be normal when you can be strange and wonderful? Normal is overrated. It is like Demon Fox Akira says, normal's boring. You are extraordinary. Don't hide that. Embrace it. Suffuse it into your bones and make it a part of you forever. That's a good girl. Ty Marshall says, what's a knight's favorite fish? Swordfish. Darling. Lost says it's about trans kids. Oh. I see. Yeah. I understand that, Demon Fox Akira. It sucks. I've seen that, Wolfie. It's fun, as always. Antari Akayama says, I don't think I can even pretend to be normal correctly. Best I can manage is dipping out of sight of the neurotypicals as fast as possible. I feel that. I have become a bit of a social recluse. And yet, I can still lean down and call you a good girl when the opportunity arises. Wanashi Bean, welcome. Girl, are you really streaming? Let's go. Did the cute fox on my screen just say good girl? I request a good NB, pretty please. What a good NB you are. Such a good little NB you are. You are so cute. There you go. Why, thank you so very much, Toy Marshal. It is in the name. Austin Wonderland says I'm in public, hun, please. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lost. I'm so sorry. Not really, but it was nice while it lasted, eh? Viola says, hey. Hey, Viola. Wanashi says, what's your opinion on onions? I don't like them on very many things. Viola says, I just got here and I'm blushing like a tomato. Now that's a fetching look for you, Viola. You should wear that blush all the time. Cutie. Boing 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 boing. Wolfie says, did you know they have layers? Wolfie says, ah, careful with the snaps, I'm trained. Oh, really? You're trained? Trained to do what on a snap? What are you trained to do? Now I'm curious. Oh, poor dear. Sorry to hear that one, Ashy Bean. The girls here are such good girls. Lost in Wonderland says, tread lightly, this is cruel, Nico. Nothing? Won't you be a good, good girl and tell me. Welcome, Melissa. Hello, hello. Amy Wire says, I'm a what? Viola says you are very cute and evil at the same time. My mommy issues are showing. Think you can make me blush, Cutiefox? I can certainly try my best, but I don't know how well I'd succeed. Wolfie says, Luna, have mercy on my soul. Oh, have mercy on your soul. For this video of mine, I'd probably tell you to get on your knees right now. Oh, this definitely has me in a bit of a... how shall I put it? Into writing a Dom mood. Also, one Ashi being is being such a good NB. Such a cute NB. Indeed. Did you really expect me to play fair? Poor dear. Poor little NB. Poor cute little NB. Oh, and the good girls here are such good girls. So good. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Now you're gonna be a good girl for me and drink some water, alright? Yeah, that's a good girl. Wolfie says, geez Louise, crackers and cheese oughta crack be nice to me. Amy Wire says, thank God I'm neutral girl, not girl. Viola says, Viola.exe has stopped working due to blushing into a puddle. Elisa says, can I also have tea? You may. OMG, tea party? Of course. And our cute NB can have a cup of tea. Don't worry. It's perfectly safe. Don't you trust me? Of course you can come, Wolfie. Good girl. Have a seat, and I'll give you a cup of tea. Welcome to the party. Of course, Time Marshal. I'll get you a cup of tea. Lost in Wonderland says that sounded wrong, but yippee. Such good girls, such a good NB. Of course, Amy Wires. A cup of tea for you. Cheers to a wonderful 3 years of ASMR. Either or works, Antai Akayama. Dress how you please. I just thought of an interesting line to add to that. Like perhaps writing for a script, I would include the line, dress in as much or as little as you desire. It matters not to me. One Ashy Bean says it's 1 a.m. Got schools tomorrow. Damn you time zones. One Ashy Bean, it's time for the cute NB to go to sleep. You can do that for me, can't you? You can go to sleep for me. Oh, poor dear. Good night, One Ashy Bean. Rest well. Viola says, I think Lust would say that. Of course. I really need to write another season, just including the 7 sins again. I think that you would like to see a repeat appearance of the character of Lust, wouldn't you? I see a shiver with anticipation. Wolfie says more Lust. Yes, please. I'm looking forward to doing it all again. And I trip on the floor in K. Good girl. Oh yes, I did a series on the 7 deadly sins. Wrath, sloth, gluttony, envy, greed, lust, and pride. There is an 8th video planned called Heresy to kick off the 2nd season. It's all good, Elisa. Basically, typically I talk like this, and I'm only really just cracking out the Dom voice for the first time in forever. The first time in forever in which it's being used consistently. Now you're going to be a good girl and drink some water for me, won't you? That's a good girl. Thank you so very much, Elisa. I have been practicing. Good girl. Once I leave this stream, y'all will do well to hydrate, won't you? I don't want to have to come back tomorrow to find out that you've disobeyed an order. Now, Mommy would be very disappointed. But no, you're a good girl, aren't you? Elisa, did I say Mommy? Oh, you did now. You, I mean you. Yes. Yes, I did. I mean, after all, during these streams I do play a character. Why not lean into it? And besides, you really need to stay hydrated. Good girl. I remember when I first put out Yandra as a video. The dominant symbiote. Her entire shtick is that she wanted to be called Mommy. I'm so sorry, Antari Akiyama. Wolfie says, hydrate or you will be found. Ah. Amy Wire says, guess I'm getting found then. Now I'm just thinking about that one time I wrote a villain that basically uses touch-based mind control. I wonder what other circumstances I could write that in. With but a single brush of my fingers, and you will be bent to my will. Indeed, maybe even describing it in depth for a Patreon exclusive. Ty Marshall says I'm a bad, bad boy. No, you're a good boy. Ty Marshall is a good boy. And Viola, you're such a good girl. All the wonderful good girls in chat. Thinking of lines that mind-controlling villain might say. I know every beat in that heart of yours, and it will be bent to my will, never yours again. With but a brush of my fingers here, a soft word in your ear, and your poor little mind melts so readily. Haven't you been resisting for so long? Are you not tired? Wouldn't you like to take a little rest? Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. And you can just relax and be a good girl for me. So cute. So cute. Anyways, I think it's time that I got going. Thank you so very much for sticking around, for being a part of the stream. I do plan on streaming again tomorrow. And I do hope that you'll come. It'll be alright. Same time, same bat channel. Well, same Fox channel. And it was good to see you again. It really, really is a treat every single time. Make sure to get something to eat and be sure to drink some water. Very good. I'm proud. I am so proud of you. I'll be seeing you tomorrow then. Bye-bye.